Hello, I'm David Groninger in Seattle, Washington. It's a rainy, windy, stormy night, about 10 o'clock at night, and it's the December the 12th, 2015, maybe about 12 or 13 days before Christmas. Each day I ask myself the question, what could I say in a 10-minute message that could help 10 million people? Sometimes I ask myself the question, what could I say in a 5-minute message that could help 5 million people? So it's either going to be a 5-minute talk or a 10-minute talk, but here we go. I get all kinds of answers when I ask myself these questions, and the idea I got today is called emotional yoga. Emotional yoga. Yoga is an exercise. Well, when we talk about physical yoga, we stretch. We stretch ourselves physically. We stretch our limbs. We stretch our muscles. We do it in a very slow, therapeutic kind of a way, and it's a very healing and strengthening kind of a process. So yoga, it's a term meaning, to stretch. And when you do yoga, you are lowering your risk of having an injury. Because if you're flexible and you step off of a curb suddenly in a busy downtown area, or have to quickly move out of the way because there's a bus coming, when you've done yoga regularly and you're in, your muscles are in good shape, you're in tune with your body, you're not stiff and unaccustomed to a quick movement, then it's easy to make these movements. But where people have injuries, accidents, many times it's because they're not used to being that flexible. They might maybe take too large of a step off of the curb, for example. It might be a much, deeper curb than they thought. And then all of a sudden you don't know where your footing is, and then maybe even step on a rock or something, and there you go, you've twisted your ankle, or maybe you've hurt yourself for a while. So when you do yoga, it prevents injuries, it helps your body, it helps the circulation, it helps the fluids flow through your muscles and everything. So emotional yoga, it's a way of stretching the emotions. It's a way of doing exercises with your feelings so that it will reduce the risk of getting shocked if you're too stuck in the way that you emote or feel about something. There are some people that are only in a couple different feelings most of the time, and all the other broad range of human emotions, maybe they're not too comfortable with that. So if there's some situation where somebody else is actually in that kind of a feeling, sometimes it's hard for them to relate to it. However, if you practice all the emotions, every kind of feeling you can think of, kind of like an actor would rehearse saying his lines in different emotions. Practice this like an actor would, and get very familiar with you yourself in any different type of emotion, or create any kind of an exercise that you want that will allow you to stretch your emotions. I call it emotional yoga. You can make up your own name for it too. And this kind of thing, I'm sure there are people who do it, but and it's nothing new. It's not an original idea. But anybody could really, really build a whole business based upon this, because there's so much benefit in doing this. How many times are people influenced by their feelings about something because they can't let go of that feeling, and then their behavior or the choices they make are based upon that feeling that should have long since passed by, but it's still stuck with them? How many people remain bitter about something and, don't talk with somebody for a long period of time just because they could never get out of that feeling of bitterness? Well, by doing emotional yoga, by stretching your feelings, by practicing all different types of feelings, you'll get more used to being in such feelings. And guess what else? It's going to be easier for you to express your feelings when you have them. That way you won't have to hold something in so long and then explode someday, or just introvert on it and implode someday. Do emotional yoga. Create a way that you can practice all different kinds of emotions. You could practice them in the way you speak. You could practice kind of in terms of like movement, like a dance, for example. You could practice moving your body in a way that expresses an emotion. So emotional yoga, it's going to help you understand people who are in any type of emotion, and it's going to give you the patience and the ability to, to sit comfortably and be comfortably with somebody who is in any different type of emotion. It's going to make you better at communicating. It's going to help you with your people skills. It's going to help you with your negotiating skills. It's going to help you with all kinds of relationship skills. Anything having to do with people, and there's a lot in this world having to do with people. So that's my message for today. I find it interesting, however, how popular it is to go to the gym and do physical yoga or have a physical workout, but yet how uncommon it is to do an emotional workout or emotional yoga. But don't wait until it's a fad to do this emotional yoga or emotional workout. Do it now because of the great benefit it's going to have for you. Think about all the potentially, disappointing things that could happen to any of us in our life. And how many people, when such a thing happens, they lose their job, they lose all their money in a bad investment, a relationship or marriage ends suddenly, and they feel quite rejected. Whatever might happen, unexpected things, unexpected deaths of people you know, unexpected losses, unexpected world events. Well, do emotional exercises. And when these things happen to you, you'll be more prepared to deal with them in a logical way. Now, you'll still have the feelings that are connected with, something unfortunate that happened to you. You'll still have those feelings, but you won't be ruled totally by those feelings. You'll have the feelings of rejection or disappointment or sadness, but you won't be ruled by that. You'll be able to be ruled a little bit more by a longer term thinking that might be a little bit more rational or logical. So that's my message today. It's very popular to go to the gym and have a workout. And what's not popular is to kind of create your own emotional gym and have emotional workouts. If you do this, you're going to find that it's much easier to get involved in relationships with people because you're not going to hold yourself back out of fear of rejection, of even beginning the relationship or the person even accepting you. You're not going to hold yourself back for fear of sometime during the relationship getting rejected after you've made a long commitment and a big commitment of your energy and of your love or affection toward that person. It's not going to hurt nearly as bad if you're flexible in how you feel about things. Plus, you're going to be able to read people better, and all the more easier it's going to be for you and effective to find people in the first place that are a good relationship match. How many relationships, fall to pieces just because the two people who came together in the first place were a mismatch? They came together because they either couldn't find anybody else, or they didn't really have the people skills that allowed them to go and talk to a lot of people before they found a good match. Somehow or another, they got thrown together at the same place at the same time, and they used the exterior forces of bringing them together as a reason to get to know each other, and then maybe it worked out, but maybe it didn't. Emotional yoga. Remember, it's very popular to go to the gym and do the physical workout. Very popular to do physical yoga. Not popular to do emotional yoga. But if you do this emotional yoga, practice all of your emotions, I believe that you're going to have some remarkable success in dealing with people and in dealing with yourself. Well, somehow my alarm clock, just didn't quite go off. But that's okay. I probably talked for 5 or 10 minutes anyway. So it's time for me to end off. Each day, I ask myself the question, what could I say in 10 minutes that might help 10 million people? And then I write down the answers, and then I give a talk. And I have no idea which talk is going to help 10 million people, But I've decided to give 1,000 of these messages, one every day for the next 3 years. I started about 2 weeks ago, so I've got about 14 messages now. And each day I try to improve upon them. I'm even improving on my technique. I'm soon going to have a better camera where I can get my entire physical body shot in as I speak. And so I'm ending off now. This talk is called Emotional Yoga. Go to your emotional yoga class. Do it with friends. It's fun to do it. Maybe take an acting class. That's a good way to experience. Well, what do you know? That's my 10 minutes or 8 minutes or something. So I'm going to end off now. This is David Groninger in Seattle, Washington, saying thank you.